Good evening, you ruddy lovely people. It has finished Newcastle 2, Tottenham 2 at St James's Park. Why, aye man, supporting this football team is not good for my blood pressure. I don't think we were particularly good tonight. I really don't. I think Newcastle were the better team. They moved the ball more quickly. In open play, we struggled to create chances. 2 shots on target, 2 goals. So we were clinical. You can't question that. But a lot of the same problems that we've been having recently were there tonight. But we did show fight tonight. We showed grit. We showed determination. We stayed in the game until the end. And we got a reward for that. We got a reward. The only reason we were 2-1 down was because of a dodgy VAR decision. Referees are cucks, man. They never actually stick with their own decision. They'll always just submit to what VAR wants them to go with. And it's never a penalty. It's battling in the box between 2 players. Just let it go, man. Let it go. There's a bit of shirt pulling from both players. It's just never a penalty. It's never a penalty, but it's given and we responded to it. And before I delve into any other player performances or anything else, the first man I want to talk about tonight is Cristian Romero. I think he's a very good player. I've never really said he's world class. One of the main reasons for that was because he's not really consistent. And a lot of the time, when he needs someone to step up, he goes quiet. And as a captain, he needs to be stepping up. He did tonight. Scored 2 goals when we needed them most. The first, a brilliant header from inside the box. And the second, probably the worst but best bicycle kick I've ever seen from Cristian Romero. Channeled his inner Wayne Rooney, but went to attempt that, had the confidence to go for that. He played like a captain tonight, questioned every decision that the referee made against us, was strong in the tackle. Yeah, he got a booking for that, but I don't mind that when I'm seeing players like Sarr and Bentancur, just be so passive and barely press and just not put in the effort. I feel like a lot of players right now just aren't putting in the effort, and yeah, a lot of that might be down to the fact they don't respect Frank and they don't believe in what he's tactically trying to do. Maybe they don't understand it, but I'm sorry, there are so many fans that pay money to watch this, both on the telly and travel to watch you. The minimum is that you put in the effort, and a lot of them aren't, but Romero did tonight. 2 goals, a great defensive performance, made countless great blocks, few big tackles in there as well. He was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. 10 out of 10 performance from Cristian Romero. I thought Danzo was very good as well. Could have been a little bit stronger in the tackle for Newcastle's first goal from outside the box, but aside from that, I think he was very good in the air. Had that clearance off the line as well. And we did limit Newcastle to very little clear cut, in all honesty. Yeah, they had, 2 goals, but one was a penalty and one was from outside the box. The only chance they had, I think, inside our box was the Joe Linton one in the first half that hit the post. But that being said, they were the better team. If someone deserved to win that tonight, it was them. But I do think a draw is kind of fair because I think we were probably the better team for a lot of that second half because they hugely went off the boil. I will take a point all day long though. I've been feeling like a performance recently wouldn't really change things. We had a performance against PSG. What did it change? Nothing really. We were 2-0 down 10 minutes in against Fulham, because we were lacking the confidence because we hadn't got any results recently. This is a big result. It's massive that we kick on. I'm not going to say that we will because I'm not sure. But if we can get a win against Brentford, hopefully this is a turning point for Thomas Frank. It felt like if we lost tonight, we'd be heading into that Brentford game. And it would have been a game where you'd say, if Frank gets this wrong, if Spurs lose, he could be gone by Sunday morning. But that won't be the case after tonight. As I say, Newcastle probably the better team. But having said that, I think a draw is pretty fair because of what we limited them to. It was a great performance from Romero. Not the best game to watch, in all honesty. I know we ended up getting 4 goals, but that Fulham Man City game, that was the proper game tonight, weren't it? 5-4, 5-1 to Man City at one point, and Fulham managed to bring it back. But yeah, some good performances in there. I thought Muani really gave it a good go tonight. His off-the-ball work is fantastic. I'm a big fan of him. I thought he was quite good as soon as he joined the club. That performance against PSG, against some of the best defenders in the world, showed me that he's definitely ready. And I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the season he wants to immediately leave and don't want anything to do with us after, because he's better than the players surrounding him. I thought that Johnson actually put in a bit of a better performance. I thought Bergvall started the game quite slowly, but from about the 30th minute onwards, he was quicker with his pass than other players. But there were a lot of poor performances in there. I thought Porro was okay. Udogie, really sloppy, slow in the tackle, no crosses or anything going forward. Just very poor from him. That's 2 awful performances. If I'm doing player ratings, I'm saying 3 maybe from him, 2 in a row. So he's got to be dropped for Spence this weekend. Jed Spence doesn't offer loads going forward, but he's never had a performance where he's 3 out of 10, Jed Spence. He's had some, dodgy ones, but he's much more consistent than Udogie. Bentancur, Sarr just very, very slow. I thought it might flow a little bit more in midfield without João Paulinho. But yeah, those two just didn't progress the ball quickly at all. Just didn't. I think that's one of the big differences when you watch the two teams tonight. Eddie Howe's Newcastle, players are taking one touch on the ball and playing it, and the ball's moving quickly. Whereas with us, players are taking 2, 3, sometimes 4 touches, and we're easy to press. It's why we struggle to play out. It's the same thing I've talked about loads. We need that box-to-box midfielder. Dejan Kulusevski can be it. Morgan Gibbs-White could have been it if we got him to link things up, because every time, few touches and passes between the centre-backs, they play it to the full-back, they play it to the winger who has to drop deep because there's no creative midfielder. Then the winger, because they don't have any options, have to play it backwards, and then we go long because we're afraid to play it through the middle. We've got to work on playing through the middle because we didn't do that again tonight. From set pieces, I thought we were more dangerous again and actually defended them quite well. I know the penalty was given from one for Newcastle, but as I say, never a penalty in a million years. But yeah, at the end of the day, when all's said and done, in the words of Nessa from Gavin and Stacey, I'm pretty chuffed with that. I will go to bed, in the words of Mr. Gilbert, relatively hate-free. That wouldn't have been the case if that game ended 2-1. I would have been on here raging as I was when I actually watched the game and that penalty was given, because it just felt like nothing was going for us. We finally get ourselves back into it. It was going to be a massive point that was, finally something that we can build on. That's what tonight is. But it felt like we were going to get that, and then the second goal from Newcastle, and it's like, oh man, and then Romero steps up again. Captain material from him tonight. Franks switched up the lineup again, 4-3-3. I didn't have a huge problem with this lineup apart from not playing Mickey, especially when you consider that he's fit. I get you've got to rotate the squad, but maybe change him for that Brentford game instead. But we've come away with a point, and both the centre-backs that we did play stepped up. So I don't think he got anything horrifically wrong. I didn't understand the changes that he made, but then right after we scored, it's like against Man United, I really didn't get those changes that he made, but right after we scored. So he's definitely bought himself some time and some belief, not necessarily from the performance, but from the result, which is what I think we needed more than anything. Guys, I'm going to make like a banana and split. Take care of yourselves, all the best, and as always, come on, you Spurs.